No way. Breakfast beers. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
Mm. My God, we're on. David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. I'm still at GoldenEye. I know it feels like I've been here for weeks. They haven't kicked me out yet. I'm just trying to keep a low profile, but I've got my friend who stayed around as well. Phil Dewhurst, how are you, my friend?
I am absolutely excellent. I mean, what's not to love about this place?
I
It's
mean,
just gorgeous.
Lagoon life.
Ah, look, it is.
This is what we're talking about here at
Lagoon
GoldenEye.
life.
Listen, I asked you to do a video with me, and I thought GoldenEye would be the perfect place.
I agree.
Two friends having some Jamaican beers, just trying to stay cool in the 102 degrees.
Oh, it's close. In England, we would say it's very close, the weather.
Yeah, it's very close, and this we are very close. So you may see a little bit of schwitzing going on, but this is worth the conversation because I wanted to explore the club. I mean, this is like, we had sort of a kind of a pre-party, if you remember, with a video with the other presidents. But this is about the club, your club. Before we do that, though, he doesn't know any of the topics I'm going to be bringing up. I want to talk a little bit about you.
Okay.
Because there was something very interesting that went on, and I'll tell the story first, because he's not going to be able to humble pie it. But when they just started talking about forming the club again, the British 007 fan club and resuscitating it, you wanted to spearhead it to really get it paddled and get it started, but you didn't want to be leading it.
No, that's right. Originally, I did say to you in that conversation, who should we find, who can I find for the president, and maybe it should be this person, maybe it should be that person. I wanted the club to exist,
Yeah.
but I didn't, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe it'd be better if I was in the background helping someone, bringing someone to the forefront to do it.
Yeah, I remember what you told me. You said, you know what, I want to light the powder keg, and then I want to hand it to somebody else to really do it. He goes, but I want to get it started. Like, I want one. And I remember you saying, like, I'm passionate about the fact that we don't have anything. We have this hollow ground, and yet the globe is filled with all these good fan clubs that
Yeah.
are doing things for people. And there was an outcry. So not a lot of people say this because I want to kill some misinformation. I think some discussion around self-appointing. You were not a self-appointing person. You didn't want this job.
Nope.
I said to you, if you're not going to do it, I don't know how I get behind it. Luke, Marcus, Andreas, all the other club presidents said it as well. It's like, look, if you're going to raise your hand, you got to be in it.
Yeah.
Was it daunting at first?
Oh, sure, it really was. And when I, found the first 6 people to join the board members, if you will, who were going to help steer the ship, and I explained what the vision was, I said, right, these are the roles that need filling.
Yeah.
Who wants to do what? Who has the skill set?
Talent to task.
That's what you told me, talent to
Talent
task.
to task.
And so we all put our, I said, if anybody wants to be the president, say so now. And they all said, no, the vision that you've got, you've got to do it. We are behind you. So we elected each other as we took a vote, and everybody that put themselves forward for the role, whichever it was, whether it be vice president or editor-in-chief, they were all unanimously voted into that position.
Yeah.
And then when we expanded out to 12 board members, we did the same process. And that's how the other clubs do. They do have an election.
Absolutely, they do. And so, again, this is about killing unicorns. I want to make sure that we do that a little bit. I want to roll it back because there's a lot of discussion about the club, and we're going to get to that. Believe me, you came here for the show. I get it. But before we do that, I think it's interesting for people to learn about you as well. And again, I think it's about peeling away the layers of Phil a little bit. He didn't expect this, Barbara Walters moment, as I call it. Because people see you up in the air. Phil, your channel is about travel. It's about British Airways. It's about great meals and moments of luxury that I think we both agree we're very fortunate about.
Oh, absolutely. Of course we are.
You weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
I certainly wasn't.
Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Sure. I mean, my family has always worked hard and worked for themselves. Self-taught, greengrocer, joiner, wirework fabricator, but they've always had their own business, small business, not the kind of thing that you can pass down, but the kind of thing that sustains a fairly decent standard of living within reason. I lived in a small town called Accrington in the north of England. Certainly not a wealthy town, a hard-working town. People around the world might know it from the war. It was Accrington Pals.
Oh,
Because
Yeah,
what they
that
did
rings
is
a bell.
when they conscripted people for World War Two, or it might have been World War One. What they did was they said you can join and you can go with all of your friends. So all of your friends, which actually turned out to be very bad because
oh
then,
wow! You actually watch your friends.
well, you all one platoon dies and then a whole village is
Oh,
lost.
gosh.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
right.
that's what we were famous for. So if people Google Accrington Pals, they can find out about that. So yeah, just a northern textile area. My father was a salesman. He worked his way up. You know, by the time I got to about the age of 10, I finally got my own bedroom.
Wow.
Rather than having to share with my sibling.
Yeah.
And that work ethic that I saw from my father and my mother, who was a nurse, it pulled through. And I said, you know, when I'm older, I'm going to get the things I want. I'm going to work hard.
Yeah.
I'm going to travel. I'm going to do, and that's exactly what I did. And when we met Emmeline, she trained to be an aerospace engineer, all while we were raising children. I'm 20 years married this year. So, yeah, we didn't come from money. We had a comfortable, happy childhood
Yeah.
with great families. But we would holiday in the UK and maybe every now and again a short hop to Europe.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't first class.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. And I could tell that you love life. And a part of that is, again, when we started talking about the club and you're calling people, calling friends saying, you think it's doable? You know, what's the grizzle I'm going to get? What's the opportunity that I can afford? Like, what's my talent to task? And your friends were answering you. What was kind of the first move to really start the process?
Well, it was just when we had that concert in London, the 60th, the Eon.
Oh,
one,
yeah.
I knew that we would have a lot of people from around the world descending on London. And so that was a perfect opportunity to have some key friends and Bond community members all in one place. And I set up the lunch just ahead of the concert.
I remember that.
And that table was just all friends
Yeah.
and advisors and confidants. And I got some business cards printed up with saying the club, put the Instagram out there, and set up a basic website and said, you know, you can join.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to people about it at that concert, and within a week, 100 people had joined.
Right. Well, one of the things, and I've got to give credit where credit's due, because you've run a successful business, magazines, all these different aspects, you took a business approach as opposed to just a fan approach. And one of the first things you did, which I said, if I'm going to become a part of this, I need to know that this has longevity and respect. And one of the things you focused on was the vision. Mm-hmm. You know, what does the club stand for other than you get a magazine, you get a card, and we all laugh and have fun and have, alcoholic beers at 6 a.m. But you said, no, the vision is really going to be lifting the spirits of people all around the world, something for the English-speaking people too, although it can be enjoyed by everyone. And the third thing was, we have to give back. Talk to us about the giving back moment.
So I was thinking, this is going to be a lot of work, and there's going to be these dark moments, those where it feels like the entire world's against you, and you've got so much to do. So there has to be an extra purpose, like you say, hanging around with your friends and celebrating this passion that we have for Bond is great.
That's great.
But doing something for others is also great and possibly better. And so, because UNICEF was so close to Roger's heart, who is my favourite James Bond. I'm not saying he's the best, I'm saying he's my favourite.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a no-brainer. And so I made that 5-year business plan, contacted UNICEF, put everything in works. I even sent the business plan to Eon because, it's their property at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to, having patents myself and my own intellectual property in my business, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't stepping on anyone's toes.
Yeah.
And they got that, and they go and do likewise. Go out there, enjoy.
I'd love when you reached out to UNICEF. I remember the conversation going that they were so appreciative because so many people do not professionally reach out to UNICEF, and that's why they provided you incredible support, templates, logos, all the support that you need to be an official UNICEF charity. What was that like to kind of be an official? Yes, exactly.
Well, at first I was a bit nervous because you go into that meeting and we'd already done some things and talked about UNICEF and use a logo here and there in advance of actually getting the permission.
Yeah.
So I was concerned, and they said, look, we've looked at everything you've done so far, and you've actually been perfect. And the fact that you have come, and I will encourage anybody else who's doing fundraising for these charities, do contact them.
Yeah.
Just contact them, let them know, because they've got support, they've got donor lists. So straight away they know if there's 15 people on their donor list that love James Bond and would want to come to the event.
Amazing.
And when you get to a certain fundraising level, they actually send the ambassadors as well to give like a talk at your event, and so, you know, that's what we're working our way to. Not there yet.
To come.
Yeah.
To come. That's great. And so, all right, all these things come together, the vision, the board, the people, and I know I'm hightailing it a little bit, but to use a Yoda quote, size matters not. But it did get big quickly.
Very
People
quickly,
just jumped on board, and even the other presidents were like,
I know, right?
But what did that mean? I mean, size doesn't really matter. It's true, Yoda had it right, but the fact that it was people were getting it had to mean something to you.
That meant the world to me. That they were for this year at least, they're believing in me, and they're rolling the dice and saying, right, okay, Phil, go. We're going to support you. We're going to go at it. We're going to see how it goes. Where the size does matter is in the fundraising, because the larger the membership, because we give a proportion of every membership fee straight to UNICEF as soon as someone joins.
Oh, the membership that they give you, a percentage goes to
straight
UNICEF
away. Yeah. So I think it's
Right.
£30 for the membership. We give 10 straight to UNICEF.
Oh, fantastic.
So
Gosh.
so the bigger we get, that's the more fundraising, and with more people, you've got a bigger pool of fans, talented people who might be able to donate for the auction, bid at the auction, attend the events. So it does help from a charity point of view.
Right.
And it also helps from a diversity, having such a diverse membership.
It's amazing. I mean, all genders, cultures, walks of life, and locations. I mean, you've had people, you know, not just obviously in the UK, you've had it all over the world.
All over, especially the USA. We've got like over 80 members in the USA. They've been so supportive.
We love the other, I mean, truly, we love the other clubs. We've had a lot of heart for them. It's wonderful to have English-speaking magazines. I hate to be like this, but it's like, I'm lazy. I don't want to use Google Translate. But, all right, so you've got this, you've got the membership, you've got the crowd, and then, all right, what does the club do? And you've had free events. Talk to us just about some of the events.
Sure. Well, when we set it up, I said that it would be good to have at least one free event a year, so that, because I know everybody has different incomes and financials, and I don't think that people should miss out.
Right.
England's quite small. You can drive around, so you can set an event once a year where people can just come and socialise, have a martini, have a Bollinger, meet some Bond girls. You know, meet friends, make friends. That's one thing I've had feedback from so many members. Thank you. I was alone, and I thought, I can't talk to my wife about it, or I can't talk to my husband about it, or all of my friends are sick of me talking about Bond. Now I've got a club, I can come and meet you guys, and that's been so heartwarming. I mean, my heart's full.
It's
really
so
is.
funny, too, because we've talked about Bond community, and some people arch their eyebrows to just the very discussion of it's a community, but the community means a sense of belonging, especially in a world where sometimes you feel very solo and alone and isolated. I think what the club has done is it's created this kind of force field around the community in the sense that people then can gather. So it's one thing to say we're a Bond community, we're all together, but if you don't gather, touch, feel, connect, it can be a little bit hollow.
Absolutely.
There is something coming up pretty quickly, which ties all of this together. The original vision, the charity, the event, the coming together, the members, celebrities. Can you talk to us about the HMS Belfast?
I certainly can. So, obviously, we'd had that first free event across from the SIS building, which was great to see everybody. Then we had some smaller regional events. We did like a digital shooting in Manchester, and then we all went out for pizzas and beers after, and that was really, really fun.
That's cool.
And we're gonna roll that in. We've got other events like the charity golf day and things like that, because we're trying to offer something for everyone. But the HMS Belfast, the gala event, the thing that I said from the start, we have to have something. You just drop a pin in the middle of the year, and that's what we're working to. The big event. Because we can all meet up at a bar or whatever, but you're only going to raise a limited amount of money for charity. You have a gala event on the World War II battle cruiser, in London on the Thames. I mean, this was squeaky bum time when I first signed up for this, because...
What's that mean?
Nervous.
Oh, okay.
Because...
I have an American audience too, so...
you do.
Squeaky bum sounded very suspicious. Go ahead.
When I called them up
Yeah.
and I said I want to hire the ship and all that,
Yeah.
okay, we didn't have the members, we didn't have the board fully put together.
Right.
So if this didn't work out, Emmeline and I were basically renting a boat for an evening meal for the two of us because I was on the hook for the
So
finances.
romantic.
Yeah. So we thought it has that Fleming feel,
Yeah.
1940s, and we would put together just the biggest that we could do as fans, because we're
Right.
just fans at the
Yeah,
end of the
of
day.
course.
So I started to call up quite a few of my friends who are Bond girls and whatnot. I've been fortunate enough to travel, and we've been to the Bahamas and all
Yeah.
sorts of things. And I basically asked them for a favour. I said, look, this is the vision. I need
Right.
I need you to come and support me. Can you do that? And they were, they're coming for the taxi fare. That's it.
It's amazing.
None of the stars are being paid anything at all. They're doing
Right.
it for the charity, for the members, and for me. And I thought it was high time that John Glenn was given a Lifetime Achievement Award.
That's key.
I mean, 5 films consecutively through the whole of the 80s. Some really good ones in there.
Right.
And he's such a sweet man.
Has he never received a Lifetime Achievement Award?
I think a few years ago, the German club gave him one.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, he's well loved by the Bond
Yeah.
community.
He should get 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, when Emmeline was interviewing him and talking about it, she asked him, what does it mean to you? And he says, well, you don't win a lot of awards being a Bond director. He said,
Wow.
But you know,
True.
they're very popular at the box office and people love them. So
Yeah.
his reward has been knowing that so many legions of boys and girls across the world have loved his movies.
Yeah.
But it does mean something, from the British club,
Yeah.
from the British fans. Right there in London, he's so excited, and people are going to love spending time with him.
Yeah,
they're going to love it.
It's
He's
a
great.
celebration. So I want to tell everybody a little story that kind of creates a foundation of what Phil's talking about with this. So it's important to note, as a lot of you are hearing this and licking your chops, these tickets are sold out. They've been sold out within actually the first few days, maybe even hours.
30 hours it took.
30 hours. I want to kind of mention something because I've seen the wizard behind the curtain, the Oz guy, and when it's sold out, it would have been very easy to say, right, let's get some rubber chicken and a white sauce and just have people come on and give John Glenn a paper mache trophy and call it a day. We got our tickets. Got. What I watched you do is every single week, including just this week when the board met, is you kept ramping it up and adding things and adding experiences. And now today, the HMS Belfast, I'll knock on GoldenEye wood, is destined to be probably one of the most impressive experiences I've seen, official and non-official. But I will say this, I think it's interesting that you weren't doing to get more tickets. You said to me, the literal judgment of success or failure of this event is the people that go.
Yes.
Not you, not me, not the videos that come out.
Mm-hmm.
If the fans say, my jaw dropped across every corner,
Right.
talk to me about that. Why is that?
Well, because it's all very. I mean, anybody can go and have a nice meal somewhere. Everybody can go and have Bollinger, do whatever.
Yep.
But some of the things we've got planned, they're just not accessible because it's not got nothing to do with money. It's
Yeah.
just having the contact or building it in a certain way. And so there's almost too much to do for people.
Yeah.
I wish we had a whole day rather than an evening.
Yeah.
But I think that's good because people can experience different things at different times. You've got the Fleming Bar, you've got the John Glenn Museum,
Mm-hmm.
you've got, and people across the community, like Alan Stevenson reached out and said, I'd love to bring some original props and costumes. Well, what a guy! I mean,
Amazing.
And this is how, because they could all see
Yeah.
that myself and the board, we were working hard at this.
Yeah.
And like you said, we didn't do it to sell more tickets. When we just announced John Glenn was coming.
Right.
And sold all the tickets. Then I've announced 14 other actors that are coming
Exactly.
that we didn't need
Yeah.
to sell tickets, but we do need so we can all have fun and
Right.
enjoy it. And there are some people. I've been fortunate to go to premieres and Hollywood parties and spend a lot of time around A, B, and Z listers. Been on red carpets, done all that. The first time I did it, it blew me away. It was like, this is the kind of thing you see on the news, not the kind of thing you do. And that's what I want for the event. I want people who've never had that opportunity to come onto the ship and feel like a celebrity
Yeah.
and feel like they are at something bigger than themselves.
Right.
And they look over and they see, oh, there's Chris, my friend. Oh, there's John, and everybody's laughing, and that's and then we're raising money for charity.
That's a
It's
huge
beautiful.
thing. So the raising money for charity, again, we're trying to shock and awe Phil a little bit with this discussion. I have something, and there's been a lot of brands and people that have donated, but I have something that Phil wasn't expecting, because we are in Jamaica, and I spoke to the Jamaican Tourism Board. We have to auction. These are the shirts that were given out to Daniel Craig and the staff. You can see the boat from No Time to Die with the Jamaica symbol, with the 007, and this is the very last one that Ziggy and the Tourism Board have. You can see the 007 there.
That's beautiful.
So, and this is a handmade Jamaican shirt. You can see how soft it is. That is for the auction. So
that's-
hopefully somebody will want a crew shirt, and you can always get it tailored for you. But the outpouring of different auction items like this has been pretty outstanding.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, it's been a lot of work. Don't get me wrong, but the brands have been nothing but.
Here, I'll flip this up for
yeah,
him. The poor guy is trying to have a conversation. I'm making him full clothing in the video.
The brands have been absolutely just amazing.
Yeah.
You know, people like Elliot and David Mason. I called them up. I'd not met them before.
Yeah.
Spoke to them. Wonderful. Made an appointment for a suit to be made for me, and they just sort of said, you know, would you like something for the auction? You know, I've heard that you're asking. I said, yes, that was going to be my next question. And they said, well, how about we give the full bespoke experience, the full bespoke suit, so someone can from the ground up have a suit made. And you're talking $7,500 for this.
It's crazy.
And they just gave it for UNICEF.
Yeah.
Turnbull and Astor, the full set of the bond ties.
Yeah.
End Peel, like the Nehru jacket, a tie,
Oh my
a
God,
scarf.
they gave like the whole wardrobe.
Yeah, the whole thing's there. OB with a collection of shorts.
Yeah.
Even like my local boutique hotel has given a
Right.
luxury stay in the Lake District.
Ben and
in
Winch
England.
has the hold all.
Ben and Winch, the hold all, the SC
By the way, a
hold all.
lot of people are going to be able to bid this.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have like online as
Yeah,
well?
well, we've got is Eubanks is.
I know them.
Yeah, they're one of the
Wow.
biggest collectible auctioneers in the UK.
Yeah.
And they've donated an auctioneer, online bids and
Yeah.
proxy bids, the live auction in the evening with no sellers or buyers fees, and they've even said we'll ship worldwide for you for free.
Oh my gosh.
So the money goes directly to UNICEF.
So many people came together. They're behind this. All right. Two unfair questions. Too unfair, because listen, we want to get in that water. We're melting in the sun.
We're schwitzing, as David would
yeah,
say.
with tons of beer in us. So, what happens after the HMS Belfast is over? I know you have other things that you want to be doing, but what does that look like? Do you sit down, and you don't even have to name what is the actual event, but how do you rally yourself and the board to say that's over, but we can't go to sleep? We've got to continue on.
You just prepare for the next one. You take all of the, because don't get me wrong, in a selfish moment in the evening,
Right.
Belfast, everybody's having a good time. That's going to fill my heart,
Yeah.
and that's going to propel me into the next.
That's
event.
your energy and
That's
passion.
going to
and
because I'm going to
your
see.
fuel.
I mean, fingers crossed, it all goes well.
Yeah, yeah.
And if it doesn't, we really, really did try our best.
Yeah. If it doesn't go well, the reality is it didn't go well. The club continues.
No, the club
it's
continues.
got fortitude. It's not based on an
Yeah,
event.
we got over 400 members, the largest club by membership. We've got members in 18 countries now. We've got the magazine that's debuting on the HMS Belfast. We have the monthly newsletter.
Sorry, the magazine. My
Yeah,
gosh.
we've got other events. We've got
Right.
two more smaller, one medium scale event in September, and then another event in December. And we've already planned all 6 events for 2024.
Yeah.
We haven't announced any of them, but they're already planned.
So I'm going to ask you an incredibly softball question. Don't you like how I introduced that? But it is, because I think I know the answer. I think I know you well enough. Many, many, many months ago, last year, for goodness sakes, when you thought about this and you thought about all the trepidation, the holes in the floor that you might fall into either personally, professionally, and otherwise, and some of the obstacles along the way, as you approach this event and see the club growing around you, was it worth it?
Yeah, it's worth it. I've made some friends that I never would have had before, and 11 people that didn't really know me. I mean, well, you did and Simon did, but the others, they didn't really know me going into this, and they trusted me. They put their trust in me, and I am doing the best job for them and for the club and for myself. And I'm not some sort of hero going, oh, look at me.
No.
Just a guy, just a professional doing a job.
Oh, so am I.
I'm just a Bond fan. I'm still a kid.
Yeah.
I love to. I mean, anybody that really knows me, I'm just
Yeah.
spewing with fun. That's all I want. And yeah, it was totally worth it. We've given people who didn't have purpose some purpose. We've given people who didn't have friends some friends, and we brought friends who were already friends or acquaintances closer together.
And all doing a good thing.
A good thing,
which is
yeah,
amazing.
right, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got a ringside seat. You have a ringside seat. That means there's going to be lots of videos on different channels, including 007 GB, the club, has its own YouTube channel. I don't know if you knew that, but you should go over there and like and subscribe so you don't miss these events and things that happen. I think they're pretty exciting. But Phil, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, brother. This
Is
is
great.
very nice.
And what a wonderful environment to do this in.
It is. It is warm, though, and I do think we need to swim.
Yeah, schwitzig, like you said. And this has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. We'll see you real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.